Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Hey Safeguard, TheScoreEsports.com, Mountain Dew, and ESEA.
The second map of a second series here for the ESL Pro League is about to get underway. The two Danish sides, Team X and Astralis, have clashed, and Astralis have been beaten. Bested, of course, the top Danish team, Astralis, falling to Team X, a new ragtag crew of Danes that have already proven that they can, push it with the big boys. Victories versus FaZe, close games versus NIP. So far, so good for Team X. We'll see if they can go ahead and get the much needed, actually, at this point, 2-0. I'm joined by none other than Janko YNK Paunovic. Thank you very much.
All right.
Is it bad? Can you just do it one time for everyone to know how it sounds?
Janko Paunovic.
I'm pretty sure this is exactly how I said it.
Definitely.
Absolutely exactly how I said it. So what I want to do with this discussion, Janko, instead of just sitting there and telling everyone what they know already, I'd like to have a little bit of a discussion with you about Xyp9x as a player and because of the role that's attached to him. Now, you told me the other day that Xyp9x used to be the mad fragger and has taken the support role since time has progressed.
Yeah, at this point, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it was towards the end of 1.6, early days of CSGO. He was that young and up-and-coming player, extremely skilled, but then he took a step back in this particular lineup. Even when they were Dignitas, someone had to be the support player in that team, and he was the one who went with that role, and he's been doing an extremely good job at it. I think one of the true support players, because sometimes that word is being thrown around a bit too much.
Yeah, and I mean, this is where I wanted to go with this, and talking about roles. How many actual roles are there in a team? Like, there's players, there's support. We talk about AWPs, we talk about entries. Like, how many do you think actually belong as a staple role?
I think it depends, and I don't think it's as rigid as people think. You don't form a team and say, okay, you are going to be the support player and you are going to be the second guy coming in. It depends. Some teams are more rigid, some are less rigid, but you need to have a player in every team who is going to do, the dirty work, learn all the tough smokes, tough flashes, be the one who is going to flash other players in, who is going to bait for them and everything, so that those players can perform better. Some teams don't necessarily have set like people who's going to run in first into the bomb site. Sometimes it's just, it's out of a default, we decide to go A, and, who happens to be in one particular spot, he's the guy coming in that particular situation, right? So it depends. You always have someone who has to, play more for the team, and you always have players who are in the spotlight. They're the ones who are being put in the best possible position to frag.
Okay, so when you see community members, I'm just literally scrolling through various forums and I see people saying, oh, Simple in Navi in his game was forced to play the support role. Do you subscribe to this discussion? Like, he wasn't given the freedom to play his own game. Is there validity to that?
I don't really think so, but I'll give you an example. Okay, in Mouse Sports, on their T side of Train, Nico is the player who goes and tries to take control of the holes towards the B bomb site, right? Because that's an extremely important area of the map, and you kind of need to be able to do it without dying. You want to get that map control, and not everyone is able to do it. And now that's a position where he doesn't have as much influence, in a sense that if they're going outside or something, he's the last guy coming in, isn't there to open up the bomb site, but it's something that you need to do for your team to be able to win. So even star players at times need to go for maybe roles or have certain positions on maps that are not optimal, so to speak.
I'm looking forward to seeing kind of where these roles develop. I mean, so for you, how you've already made it clear your feelings on them, but what is a genuine role? Like, Lurker, not subscribe to the fact that you can have a Lurker player. Some are better than others, though. I
think you can. There are a lot of situations where you go for map control and only leave one player at that position, and then switch your focus to the other side. So most of the times it's the best thing to have the same player there, right? Because he's used into the role. So yes, I think that Lurker is one of the roles that are probably more obvious than the other ones.
Yeah, and we'll be talking more about that, actually. It does seem like they're ready to go. We haven't talked about Astralis and Team X on Train, but I do like that I can just pick your brain for a little bit.
It's just a map that Astralis never wants to pick, but they're always willing to play it, and they're extremely good on it. And one of the criticisms we as analysts had was that they should have picked it more often in some series where, you know, they went for some other maps that maybe weren't as
like
favorable.
They were scared of it.
Yes, so I believe that this is where Astralis evens the score and it's going to be 1-1.
A much-needed win for both of these teams. Team X still 1 wins to 4 losses, and we are only into our first week of the ESL Pro League. Big one for the Danes. You see what I did there? Now, though, Sadakist and Pansy are going to guide you through your second map.
Pansy, it's actually going to be all you. I'm warming up for my next game.
All right, he's currently on Dust 2, and welcome back to Sadakist's adventure through playing Deathmatch.
I'm on gold number 3, guys. I'm getting there.
I'll teach him. You know, we've got varying ranks throughout here. We can all dive in to help. Thankfully, Mitch isn't here, who's actually a silver too. He'll really appreciate me saying that. Anyway.
All right, I'm going to quit now while I'm ahead.
Yeah, just
all right,
keep hold of that rank. Keep hold of it. We are getting ready for Train coming up next between Team X and Astralis. And the shocker happened in the first map on Overpass. A good map for Team X. You know, they like those custom maps, and they showed as to why their T-side finally held up against the scrutiny from Astralis. However, if you ever wanted to see what Fuel to a Fire does, let's see if Astralis brings that out. Losing out to maybe a rival team, you know, a Danish team of sorts. You don't want to be kind of remembering that, but we're live into this one. We are live indeed. And one kit this time for Kerrigan. They've elected to go for something a little bit different. Meanwhile, Glaive and Co. have not. They're going to brawl straight forward with Glocks on armor, so no utility. And it's working out so far because around the corner, they've managed to pick up a decent amount of kills. That Glock sounds so much more fierce than the little pea shooter it used to be. As Freeze tags up Kerrigan slightly as he falls back, has to wait for the rotations to come in, but those rotations, they may not even get there. All right, so far we're down to a 3v2. Already Team X looking to do their work. Actually, their pistol rounds haven't been a bad factor for them. They've been picking up quite a few. It was always the gun rounds that started to hinder them later into the game, which, of course, is quite a big factor in CSGO. However, Kiebi not going to be done just yet. He's got 2 more to find, and, well, he knows where the bomb is, of course. He knows where there's one on the side. That now being Freeze shows himself, but he can't find Modi. Modi keeping himself tucked in for the final moment. He does kill Kiebi there, striking the final blow. So that'll be Team X picking up the first round plant to really supplement the money as well. I mean, they can go for a nicer buy here as well. So all good for Team X, kicking things off again where they left off. Yeah, I mean, that's 3 pistols now for them in this series, which is an issue for Astralis, and it to be fair, has been an issue for quite some time, that their pistol rounds have been very, very weak. It's one of those things, you know, maybe it's time to just very simply, not even tactically wise, go into some pistol-only DM servers and just grind it out, work it out, because they've got to get something. This is such a huge loss in momentum and economy early on. We know that it can equal 6 rounds with doing nothing, essentially. The irony being, when Train got first put out here and first put into the map pool in the Pro League as well, and it really came back in, they were one of the teams who kept 100% win ratio of their pistol rounds throughout the Pro League. They were a huge player, you know, bunch of players on that, and then as everyone else stepped up and started to play a little bit better, they got the damage done, and, you know, well, they suffered, and well, Zimnix is gonna be suffering here. That's a bit of a shame. A couple of seconds difference there. He could have caught Modi off, but now, you know, the jig is up. He can't do much more. He's got to be careful now and back away, find a better position, and looks like his mouse just skipped then as well.
I'm not.
The mouse wiggle.
Just trying to bait them in. I'm knifing the Train.
That's it.
That's all it was. Snappy.
Next gen play.
Oh, look at this, though. Zipic's gonna say, I'll go back and see if there's any. Oh, I thought that crosshair placement was perfect. It nearly was. Tagged up, though, is Zipix as he falls back. An entrance from upper, and Valda and Freeze will find the first 2 kills. Snappy. Snappy to find the 3rd. Modi. His 4th team ace. No, Modi's gonna rob it. He's gonna take. Oh, all right. We still have potential. Who is it that needs to get it? It's Glaive. Where is Glaive? Oh, he's the closest, too. Team ace, but 1 died. It's possible. Kerrigan gets spotted instead from a distance. Snappy goes down, and there it is. Team ace comes through for Team X. I really wanted that to happen. Symmetry is always nice when it comes through like that sort of thing. It's always enjoyable. But I like Team X's approach to that. Again, just hitting the bomb site. Always nice to kind of, I guess, put yourself towards B, because you're almost always secured a plant as well to really support yourself going forward. Even when you're, you know, on the ecos and you're a little bit down, or if you just force up with Tech 9s, you almost always can get a plant out of it unless you get absolutely mowed down by something. So again, good approach to it. Just going to keep themselves looking pretty solid in this one. It looks like another maybe a quick hit towards B, just plowing through, which could be an issue here, actually. There's 5 players waiting on the other side. This could be interesting now. This is not something that, I mean, I know B is typically the one you think you get the fast plants on, but this is not something you do. You have guns up, you have an advantage, and you walk in without any probing of the site. It's going to work out surprisingly with 4 alive. I would have expected them to get caught up in some crossfires a little bit sooner than that. So they got away with it, but now guns to be drawn for Astralis, and double op set up immediately given the saves. It's Device and Kerrigan, he goes glass cannon to bring his out.
I don't know if I like that as much, personally, to go straight for the glass cannon here as well for the double op. I know that some teams are very, very good at going for the double ops instantly, but is it required yet? I don't know. We'll find out pretty soon here as already we are into the round. On the other side, we've got Glaive sticking to the UMP as well.
Interesting, no one had the good spawn to go to corner for the double up setup, so they've left Xyp9x there alone, and he's going to get pushed back so fast out of this because Madi already there, down he goes, another bomb plant short of Kerrigan, good catch on the rotation, nearly goes for the second, but he shoots at a member that was already dead by dupreeh. Thankfully, he finds Glaive as well, because as he recocked that gun, it could have been a huge problem. Either way, finally a 2-man advantage for Astralis. That's nifty. I like the creativity for the boost inside that window room, but no idea that Madi was going to be that close.
All right.
Still a bomb plant out of this.
There is, and okay, Freeze has the molly, but Kiebi has the smoke. So the counter's into play, which is going to be an issue. Let's see if it works out in the end for him. That means he can basically obviously just put out any issue that was going to be there. No, they have already used that smoke. Okay, so that now means that he can put it to the bomb side. This becomes a problem, Kiebi. He did it through the molly. Perfectly done. Nicely done on the timing there as well. A couple of seconds difference.
He deserves the graffiti. Oh, wait, it's not a major. Did you see when he came around the corner with the AWP? Freeze went for the first shot. I think it was dupreeh. It looked like, it might have been a Go TV thing, but it looked like he lagged because he looked like he had crosshair on him, and then he went to shoot, and all of a sudden, he was not there. I was like, even Alex on the other side of the room was a little bit confused by that one. Either way.
Yeah, I'm not sure. There's been a few of these recently, especially on train as well. I don't know what it is. There's been a few shots that have looked like they're going to hit or, you know, connect, and they just haven't. However, coming back to that round, though, Team X did just sell them hook, line, and sinker towards A, and then eventually came to B and actually lost out in the end. But that aside, it looks like Team X are coming into this all guns are blazing.
Pansy, we had a request from chat. Someone wants us to Stifu. I don't know what that means.
I'm not sure.
It says Stifu casters. If you let me know what that means. I don't know. Can you figure that one out? I will happily oblige. But Kerrigan, he's got the lineup AWP. Madi doesn't go for the wide peek. Easy shot. And Xyp9x, he again has to anchor down this position. That's a little bit careless. Feet showing no utility expended to try and deter. And Xyp9x has easy damage dealt, but it's only one kill he gets. Low shore on Freeze, but they can still get another bomb plant out of this potentially as Valda gets in position, and Device, he'll be limited by the Molotov. dupreeh's on the flank, though. Good old Brightwater M4A1S. Does pick up the first kill. The second one doesn't go his way. Valda's got this down to a 2v1 still, and he's going to try and sell this out that he's gone up the ramp, but this should be called back by dupreeh that he's not, and Kierby there to get the kill.
They're getting plants out of it again, but just being outdone. I think you highlighted it really well, was that kind of, you a bit careless, pretty much, just going in, trying to jump down on towards the ramp to try and take the shot. And Xyp9x was already up on the train, so it was just not going to work out. He took the clear shot towards the feet. They're looking around to see if they can recover the AWP. I think they might have done it as well. I'm not sure if Device is just going up hunting for that one. He's been switched out. There it is. Placed in by Kiebi, and there we have it. So, Astralis pulling back into this. I can see your face lighting up.
That's all right. But yes, Astralis are pulling back in. They did this in the first game as well. Remember, they had the score at 10-5 at half. Last time coming from the T side. So shotgun for dupreeh. I would expect him to try and get immediately on toward the ladder room. He's gone quick towards Z. And if that's the case, there should be a second rifler in toward the quad position. We know Cajun B and Kerrigan used to swap those two positions between the two of them. This time it is going to be Kerrigan, or rather, excuse me, Kierby. So he's gone into that exact same position. So he's basically subbed in for Cajun B's spots on this map, which is interesting to note because sometimes that's hard to adapt to. So you kind of have to keep an eye on his performance and how well he plays with Kerrigan in that sense. And Kerrigan, I know when they brought him into this roster, said he was going to give him the freedom and try and adapt to him. And it kind of shuffled Kerrigan away from his roles, which made things a little bit interesting for him. But they're the two that kind of seemed to have to gel together. And we saw it the last map as well that Kierby actually team flashed Kerrigan trying to go for a peek at bathrooms. Didn't get him killed, but just slight communication hints that we're seeing.
I guess they still never had that full time to adapt to playing with each other. They went through that major time, of course, where they couldn't really, and then they had the break as well. So you're going to see those growing pains, those kind of like teething pains at this point for Astralis too, as they work their way back in towards form. However, it did start off as a 4-1 into this round of Astralis, putting those 4 initial players towards A. Now pulling actually Kerrigan straight over towards that B site. Now, they do have the double AWP. Seem pretty adamant they want to keep this, and it's going to be dupreeh quite possibly to receive a lot of attention if they did come down ladder. However, not the case. There's one man just waiting at the top there. It's actually two. It's Snappy and Modi. So they can put down the smokes towards A as well from this sort of spot here. Flash out, and they're actually going to try and get a little bit of a challenge towards this. They are keeping the players present, and look at this. Xyp9x and Kerrigan as well, backing away from the site a little. I think they've worked out this is not what's going on. dupreeh's popped up. He's found Valda. They know it's going to be the V hit here. They have everyone in the right position as well. Astralis should be able to handle this. Should.
Should is the key word. The problem is they're trying to time the rotation, and because it's that ladder, you know it's such a hard choke point to come up. They have to rely on efficiency inside the site to give them the space to do so, and they've done it perfectly. Bomb not denied, but Xyp9x will get Maudie. It's just Freeze that now remains. AWP in hand and air on all approaches, including utility, to try and get him out of the corner. No denial possible, and it's going to go to 3-3 for Astralis. Not only that, money is, well, it's in tatters for Team X. They'll get a 3-round bonus. They'll be on the brink of being able to force. They'll easily go for pistols, but do they go for more with that bomb plant down?
Yeah, that's the question. You can still get another plant. They've been really, really proficient again, the plants at B, so I don't know if they're going to go overboard here. I hope they don't. I hope they kind of sit back a little, keep for that utility. They like their set pieces. The one thing I will say about Team X is, as well on their T side, at least on Train from what we saw against FaZe, they have a real affinity for hitting the B side, and yet they've been very light in this.
They're guaranteed to get $2,900 in the next round, and yet I think, unless the money didn't upgrade, yeah, they kept themselves around 3K. So nice. I would expect a really heavy buy from Team X, full utility, possibly even T-side double op in the next round, because usually you put yourself at around 2K on this, but Xyp9x, good spawn, good corner hold.
And they actually absconded away from even using a singular AWP on this map for quite some time. Freeze eventually picked it up for them against FaZe, but by that point, they'd still already done incredibly well on their T side, just exploiting that B issue. I don't think Astralis have the same problem that FaZe did, where, you know, Alu wasn't quite hitting the shots yet. You saw Keo being outdone a hell of a lot as well. This seems a far more well-rounded CT side already for Astralis in comparison, with Karrigan being actually quite a consistent presence on this site. Now he's going to be spotted out. They get the info. They're going to try and make the dive towards site. I don't know if they can deny the plant here, but they're certainly be landing these shots quite easy. The nade could do it. There it is. It was actually Xyp9x's nade in the end to stop the plant, so they don't even get that. But it was a light investment. It wasn't one of those heavier ones, but, you know, it's a bit of a shame they didn't even get the plant off.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to limit. But again, they've got so much money that it won't matter in terms of economy this time, and Freeze straight onto the AWP. So at least one brought out, but full utility. So 5 smokes, 4 Molotovs to work with. And we'll see if they slow the pace a little bit, because we've seen pretty fast rounds throughout the course of this game so far. And impressively, with fast rounds, Rushley's been able to keep up.
We're all impressed when Rushley keeps up, whether it be fast round or not.
Karrigan actually, wow, okay, goes out, flash in, but he misses the shot. The problem is they're both stuck in the alley. He's pulled the aggro. Now can Kirby get away undetected? No, they sprang through. I thought he might go undetected in that sense because no one was there, but Device smartly has come over to support this.
Yeah, Device is the one keeping this together at the moment. Kirby needs to be so careful. He's so desperate to get out of there because of that amount of pressure coming through. He has made it away. So now Team X have the one-man advantage, and that's big on this map as well. You can exploit it so readily. Where do they take it? And that was given quite quickly as well towards the T side, so they can still use this minute quite proficiently. They've got so many mollies left. They've still got all their utility to build around as well. You've got to even this up somehow. Kirby's being baited in towards watching that left side. Valda's still there on the right, so trying to time the shot, not going to get it, needs to back out. And Team X looking like maybe they're going to go for that A hit. They're kind of all congregating around the area. But again, they've still got a lot of time. They don't need to go straight in for something.
Freeze. AWP to go against 2. Kirby did grab the one that Karrigan dropped. Karrigan's got to be lamenting missing that shot. That's such a huge problem now for them. As Team X can comfortably, we said they were fast rounds, that was a fast exchange, but comfortably slow this down with the man advantage. And look how passive Astralis are inside the A site. So they give up a lot of ground at the front for entrance and for the default wall of smokes, which are now coming in, because they have to basically account for the rotations and make sure that they play the strength in numbers as best they can, considering the situation. Kirby smoked off at hell, no entrance to be covered off at A main. Jumps up though, and Device, that's a lovely shot as he falls away, still alive. Bomb dropped temporarily, but Volda gets back into Dupree. That's the entrance they need now to grab the bomb back. As Xyp9x comes through Z though, he's got a lineup, and he's got them isolated as well. Device may have fallen, but Xyp9x is doing all the work. Another kill for him, and it's suddenly a 2 versus 1 favoring Astralis, as Freeze, AWP, has to cover the bomb from afar.
Freeze now looking for that first player. He knows that someone's going to be pushing him. He knows there's going to be one on the side. Or he spots out one. He can't hit the shot. It looked so close, but it didn't connect. And the defuse should come through. There is a kit on Kirby if required. Needs to be coming over right about now. I don't know even if he is. I think this is perfectly set as it is, as it was. And they're just bringing all the guns over so they can walk away with a double up if they want it. And that's exactly what they need. Luckily for them, or thankfully for them, they had a good bit of presence earlier into that first hit. So they didn't, you know, they weren't left in that terrible position of that double up retake you sometimes get left to. No, they were well set, well rounded, and Team X didn't stand a chance. But that looked close from Freeze on that first shot.
Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. There's a third one that went in there once that Henry said. I can't remember what it is.
I do not know that phrase.
The producer says hot dogs?
No one trusts.
How does that make sense? I'm so... Matt is a bizarre gentleman.
He is special.
He's kind, but yeah, that's one word. I still don't know what he's talking about. He's trying to justify what he said to me, but I still think he's got, you know...
problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll leave that one alone.
But the one thing I'll say about Astralis is that I like their 4-1 at the start, but they've switched it up, actually. Ximnix has come across towards A, leaving Kerrigan. Once they have this double up, they seem so much more fluid in the way they like to position. They're not just dedicated towards those one sites, even though Ximnix is hailed as, you know, that solo site player on occasion, you know, that boy who can really do these sort of plays. But I like the aggression coming out from Astralis. You know, Dupree pushed up quite close, Ximnix pushed up quite close. I mean, it's pretty tricky, actually, for the T side to make these hits really, really count. So we'll see if it works out. If they go back into this, they are going into the Fire and Flames. They have that crossfire well set. But again, will Team X go for it? It looks like they are.
Well, Dupree trying to play that smoke perfectly, but he gets caught in crossfire. That's a problem. Xipix, he gets wrapped around. Look how many kills have come in that fast. We're in a 1 versus 2 in the exchange of about 6 seconds. And unfortunately, the one for Kerrigan's perspective with this AWP is him. And he's got to go against now a bomb planted down, missing a shot that should have been hit. And if it were, might have given him a chance on this as he tries to smoke off. But if he climbs this ladder, guess what? There's 2 players waiting for him, Balder being the first of which, and he'll do the task himself with the AK-47.
So, Team X pulled it off. I think the main point that you made there was the fact that those kills came in so damn fast. It was back-to-back action. They were able to just weather straight out that storm, even though normally you can have that really good exchange as the CT side, having that aggressive positioning, but those guys were just banging out the shots. Let's be very honest. Team X was just landing them far greater than Astralis were, so that just worked so well. 5-4 right now. Astralis are keeping this one pretty neck and neck at the point. But Team X, just reminding ourselves, they did pick up the first 3. So you look at that scoreboard, it's not quite as clear-cut as you'd expect. It's not quite as even as you'd expect just yet, even though Team X are putting them through their paces.
Device, anticipating the guardrail and dumpster to be the primary position to aim his lovely AWP, which stands for Almighty Weapon Power. That's what I've determined. But they jump across. I don't even think he spotted the foot there. He may have, but he repositions to go for Glaive. Smoke to come out in front. Bounces off, and he's actually chosen to go behind it. So instead of waiting for them to push through, he'll re-smoke it and rotate around the long way. Safety first, kids. Always pass scissors. What is it? Safety scissors. How's that work? Always pass them by the handle with the blades out toward the person you're passing them to.
I don't think that's the exact phrasing. It doesn't sound as catchy as what I can imagine works on a 7-year-old, but it's something along that vein, I think.
Never eat glue.
Really? That was a lesson you got taught?
Wow.
I think it's kind of implied at some point.
I was pretty experimental when I was back on the hard stuff in grade 1, all right? Well, had to have an intervention at some point.
All right, Team X again, setting up for that A hit coming down. And it worked out well before, and it worked out well again. Those close flashes actually do pay off very nicely. Hierby and Dupree get swept aside, and now we're down to 3.
Shot missed by Kerrigan as he preemptively fires through the flash. He's so blinded that he can't spot Bonnie coming through, and that is to the detriment of Xipix. But he does pull it back to at least get 1 kill. That's all he'll find. Valda, he's waiting in the corner, and Device knows it, but still can't find the lineup. He's low HP, it may not matter. Missed with the AWP, and it's still gonna be problematic in the return. Does he save the AWP? It's gonna be 5-5, bomb ticking, and as he thinks to do so, they've actually already gone on the hunt, and Glaive reads it correctly.
Well, it looks like Team X have finally worked out something that's actually quite good at countering Astralis. Astralis had the run of the gun rounds coming in, but now finally Team X looking far more potent on their T side. They've broken their economy too, so Astralis are even in worse positions now. So I'm wondering if Team X would dare do the same sort of play again. I'm not sure if it works so well against an eco outside. We'll see. We'll see if they go for it again. That kind of like slower build, get the map control, fall back, do those close flashes and push out and just use that real quick kind of trigger to their play. But Modi already might be in a bit of an exchange with Ximnix. No, he backs away from that. Ximnix still playing up by the ramp, seeing if anyone's going to push out early on. Just kind of, shoulder peeking every now and then. Not been the case. And yeah, this is straight across the board, another kind of just all-encompassing play from Team X.
Kerrigan to compensate, to try and push the tunnel, or rather the upper position of the tunnel. I don't know why I call that a tunnel, but the upper hallways, upper tunnels, it's been called that in NA. Let's be honest, they get things backwards. That's where I'm from. You got to give me some excuses here. There's got to be some room. Margin of error.
You've escaped.
I think I have.
You have. Now you just have Henry.
Yeah, I'd rather go back.
Send me home.
Yeah. I'm blinking twice on camera. No one can see me. But they are going to group up toward the A site. This could be interesting because Device is trying to get close with this PT-50, but the problem is he's not committed to it, and he's actually caught in the open. Fortunately for him, Freeze with the AWP's second one in, so if he had found that shot on Glaive, he may have gotten away with it, but unfortunately for him, not to be. It's Dupree next in line, does find Glaive still behind that E-box, but they're pushing too quickly for him to find a secondary angle. Good dink up from Xyp9x, and that might buy them time, because Kerrigan, he's going for the flank. There's an AK down, he's smart not to go for it immediately because he picks up a second kill. Snappy finds one in return, but he's isolated. Can he find it? Down to the one-on-one, and Kerrigan's timing is everything.
Excellent play from Kerrigan. The timing, the patience, everything fell into the right place for him there. That was beautiful to watch. That's the star power potential you have on Astralis, and he's just displayed it absolutely perfectly. He had nothing to work with into that round, literally nothing. No armor, no flashes, no upgraded pistol, and he still did this.
It's lovely. That was so well timed, and the dink coming in from Xyp9x was enough to make them kind of panic toward ladder. They didn't even consider the flank. The second player goes out to help get the trade. Kerrigan walks down, easily done.
And it looks like they want to respond quickly. They don't want to allow that moment to sink in with Astralis. It looks like the B hit that really was the undoing, at least initially there, for FaZe previously, at least with the T side with Team X. Obviously, it did close out favorably towards FaZe. However, they've absconded away from that. They don't quite fancy that, maybe not feeling that that's the right approach. Maybe just wanted to give off the idea that might be what we're heading towards. As you can already see, Snappy, Valda, Glaive, Freeze looking elsewhere for chances here as Modi just toying with them on B and see if, Xyp9x maybe pushed up. He hasn't particularly done that much. They haven't been particularly too present in those upper halls, but again, just going to reset themselves here.
Freeze smoked off at A main. Glaive gonna go back out toward Ivy. So we talked about pace early on. Now it's the opposite. Team X, they're trying to trade these rounds and just keep the game close, keep the economy rolling, and potentially get in a position where on their CT side, which typically we'd say they're better on, although tonight it's been the opposite. They can try and bring this home. Again, pistols are 3 for 3, but Astralis, they're finding these picks. They're figuring it out and adapting to the pace, because they too tried to go aggressive earlier. We saw Kerrigan with that fast peek on the first gun. Freeze, though, walks in, finds Kirby off, and again, he's the new boy in that position. You gotta wonder how well they play off each other. It's Device at this time is at Ivy, not Kerrigan, and Dupree nearly gets caught out going up the ladder. They know where he is, but good response. Snappy down, bomb dropped. Modi's gonna flame him out of position, but he stays around long enough to get the kill, and that's good enough, because Device, he'll take care of the rest.
They did eventually stabilize off the back of Dupree, but how did Freeze get out that far and be able to just find someone not watching that? Finally, Team X will not have the perfect money they've been going that bit of a run with, or at least the money back-to-back they've been able to build up and build from into these rounds. So again, this could be a nice step in the right direction for Astralis. See that more robust CT side down. Yeah, this is a clean eco actually from Team X. Nothing but Glocks.
Modi, Freeze, Glaive, pistols. Updated Glocks. They don't do more damage, but it's much like a Honda with a good exhaust, or I should say a terrible exhaust, a fire pipe. It adds 10 horsepower. Everybody knows that. So the new sound, it's why the Glocks are so much better now.
It's just a mental thing, you know? It works. 100%. Proven.
Exactly.
By Sadakist. Proven. All right, so the Glock train is about to come to the station. It's going to be going towards B. Desperate for that plant, and Kerrigan is actually landing nothing. He's been punished by Modi quite drastically, and a lot of damage coming through towards Xyp9x as well. But this should be all kept in check when the backup arrives. However, there's still a bit of a fight amongst them, but it does work out eventually in towards the right hands if you look to the round as itself. But a plant and a kill with nothing but Glocks, that's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. Yeah. Although they would have loved to have gotten Xyp9x out of that. And just to get more economy to buy back in, because they still have effectively a round in hand on the Astralis side. For most players, except for Kerrigan, AWP investments for him have limited him down. He's got 1,600 left after buy. But even still, Modi. Okay, he did get an AK. There was one dropped. I was going to say, was he limited that badly? I didn't think his money would have been that much lower than his teammates. So they did get a buyout regardless. Round 14, problem is, even with the loss bonus, they'll have to force in the next one quite heavily because it's been back and forth. Kirby. They keep wanting to say Kerrigan because I started off with similar phonetics, but it's Kirby out toward Ivy this time.
Got it. And speaking of Kerrigan, out by the B halls. So he's going to be having a little bit of a look. If he can get some early control, that would be brilliant. So a little bit of information trickling through to the others that you need to be very, very present. It allows people like Xyp9x to actually back away from B as well, sit closer to the jump-off point. And to be fair, I think it's Glaive has been doing this on quite a regular basis. He almost makes it across with Device being barely able to see this at all. So Device now going to be sitting back a little bit further. Has to be mindful of this, has to be careful. He does have Kirby there, being the man to be on point. So again, a slower, more cautious round from Team X, but they like that kind of fast hit, that quick trigger play in towards the A-bomb site whenever they fancy it. whenever they put those flashes down. They still have them all to hand, so this is a very, very patient round. Maybe allowing Freeze a second to work, spot out the pieces, see where these players are waiting. But if he goes too far, Device will be on the other side of that train.
Kirby in the corner as well, but Volda, he's already crouch peeking toward this. Mistimes it because Kirby trying to dodge the flash that was going far too deep for him anyway, but it works out in favor of Volda, who now picks up him and a second. Dupree, smoke to conceal. He finds one and gets away with it, finds Freeze as well as we snap back to see Xyp9x. Down Volda, and just like that, Astralis will go 9-5. Remember though, they were 10-5 first half, first game. So
not over yet. Definitely not over yet.
Scary thought.
I would say in that round as well, if we come back to it, you know, Dupree's positioning then on the edge of that smoke was absolutely beautiful as well. They kind of had to work around it, and he played it so well off each other. So here we go, back into this one. Team X do have the 2 rifles, and that's it pretty much to play with here. They're going to throw everything they can into it, but it is far from ideal. It looks like a quick play already, though. Modi with the very quick flash, quick molly to follow. But no one really going to go off the back of it. They're trying to sell that Kipper again. They're trying to get him to look towards A when actually it's that B hit. And, well, they're selling it well. Molly's literally just toying with them at this point. Xyp9x does have the auto sniper, so this could be a very, very painful entry here for Team X.
Yeah. Speaking of Team X, it's Xyp9x. Auto sniper. So he's got it waiting. He's going to anchor, but he's got support as well from Kerrigan. 2 scoped weapons inside of the site. That's a symmetrical weapon buy. A1S. Op, auto, op, A1S. I like it. I also called it scoped pansy, which should strike a nerve with you.
Triggered. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. Just think of the old days.
That's well timed. Oh, is it though? It goes a little bit deep. I thought that would have landed on their faces, but Volda only takes a mere fraction of damage, and Xyp9x blinded off entirely, has no stopping them on the way through. Bomb dropped, Snappy. He's left that first teammate because they want to advance forward. However, no one's grabbed it to go for the plant just yet. Finally, they're going to go back and do so. All this has done is serve to allow a further rotation for Astralis and Kerrigan. Well, he still can't find that exactly where he wants to go. A Kerrigan weapon with a phase sticker on the AWP, perhaps telling us something? Come on, Reddit detectives, get on it. As it is going to be Kirby now. Device getting 1 kill. That has to do most the brunt of the work with this M4. And with bomb down on B and Z covered off, they can't really afford to commit too far on the site because then they walk into their own given pincer. It's a bear trap waiting to close down on them. As Kirby will at least get Snappy to start off the retake.
And that was the B hit that was absolutely huge for them in their previous games. We have yet to see it, but the retake is looking very good. Device just jumps into that glaive, just waits with open arms on the other side. Now Kirby left in the 1v2. He's already found 2 kills. He needs 2 more to close this out at a nice, strong half. And that's not going to happen. There's the bomb, it goes off. Kirby will shut down on the final 2. But at the end of the day, it's not been a bad performance there from Team X. They did eventually claw a couple of rounds back in the end.
Is that like a bear trap thing? I said the bear trap, you said claw a couple rounds back?
Maybe, I didn't even consider it.
It's probably giving you more credit than you're worth. Yeah, you're right.
I'm not that conscious of anything I do.
It's fine, but it is 9-6. Win a pistol, make it 4 for 4 on the evening, and there's a chance that they can bring this immediately back to 9-9. Speaking of pistols, great play from Kerrigan. Good discipline not to go for the AK. Picks it up, closes it out, and a 4K for him. Well, gave Astralis a round that otherwise was not theirs. We'll be right back. Well, we're back. We're ready. We're ready for half 2. Sometimes I'm good
For
at my
ready.
job, and sometimes I'm really bad at it. Usually I'm really bad at it.
That's a bit harsh. But you're doing all right. You're
Thanks.
doing all right. It's been a long week already. You're keeping it together. But yeah, speaking of keeping it together, it's down to Astralis now to keep this one together.
It is. I mean, they had a huge lead in the first map, and it was overpassed as well. A map we know they're very good on as a team, and yet they lost to Team X on the CT side. So, bit shocking. You have to wonder how much adjustment period there still is. Saw a little bit of things that indicate Kirby's not exactly versed well with the communication in the A side on this map yet either. So, you know, they did all right. 9 rounds, CC tied. Okay, but again, like you said, they have to convert it, and Team X has been very good on pistols so far.
Yeah, that's the scary thing, is that they always seem to get that 3-round buffer coming back, either back into it or even taking a further advantage. Again, these guys are no slouches when it comes to it. It looks like we're ready, so we'll get to see that going down in a moment's time. They'll be starting themselves up on the CT side this time, of course. And Astralis on the T side. And Astralis have not been great on their pistols. That's the one thing you can always highlight with these guys, that they have been struggling to have that bigger impact. But we'll find out how it goes down, as they are both ready when we're live into this one. A little bit of smoke actually coming out for Astralis as well, so we might see a little bit more of a robust piece being brought to the forefront here.
Well, with the 2 smokes, you'd anticipate may go onto the A site. However, they're electing to hold them and go out toward Ivy, and one of those smokes, well, hits the deck. It's re-grabbed again immediately after, but now they'll put them out. The Vice goes down. Good shot from Glaive. Bomb dropped again as he taps in. Snappy, all the while, has just been sitting in that corner, undetected, trying to get baited into this situation, but Kirby could foil this, because as he snuck all the way down the trains, past Hell, smokes out, they aren't going to anticipate his arrival. There you can see it, the X-ray. There's no bold lining on Snappy. He's silent, undetected, and will drop the bomb once more.
Really, such a shutdown and that one choke point that has left Astralis in a really dire spot. These P250s are good, but over this sort of range, you'd still love a USPS at this point. And there's a connection from Kirby, and he does eventually follow up towards Glaive. They've got to know at least there's 2 more players down here. They split them both. So again, it's certainly fightable. Zipnik's being pressured as well. Shut off by Modi. He can no longer support, but Kirby's not done. He finds another now, down to the 1v2. Freeze and Modi left against him. The bomb is not to hand. He's got to fight this one pretty much just man to man, and it's not going well for him. Down to 22 HP. Players to the right, players to the left. They're positioning well here. They're basically making him dance to even get towards that bomb. 30 seconds now left. He's running out of time.
Yeah, time is definitely a problem for him here. Does have that armor, but they've got both possibilities, including the wrap through CT spawn, covered off. It's Freeze that can watch that from back at CT stairs, and they'll slowly pinch in further and further. Knowing time means he cannot get to B, so he has to be heading toward the A site, and Modi finds him. Again, 4 for 4. Team X wins pistol, and Astralis, go practice pistol DM.
It's not bad advice at this point. However, the fact with Team X as well, at least sticks in my mind, is that they close the next 2 normally. They haven't actually dropped too many. They actually go for quite, a heavy investment normally. Normally the 2 rifles come out, but we're not seeing that. We're seeing the 1 rifle and the 4 SMG presence. Why not? If you're feeling good about it, see what you can do with it. See if you can bring it further forward. Device, though, looking for an opportunity with that Deagle. He has the armor as well. Kiebi, armor 2. So there is a little bit of a threat here on the Astralis side, and that's it going to the forefront. It's Dupree to lead it too. Valda's head gets removed, and that's a 1-man advantage play now for the T side.
Kerrigan. Just making sure no one's going to push back through T-spawn and take away any further possibilities, of which they hardly have in the first place, considering it's on the pistol. Snappy, same spot, not same gun. It's not a pistol round. I almost got you with that one. If you say gullible enough times in a row, it rhymes with orange.
Hate you. I hate you so much.
You
There was a
thought
second.
about that in
There
your
was a
head.
second. Oh my God, it's been a long week. Do you know what? I'm just going to just wheel myself over here in this
Yeah, it's
lovely
fine.
chair.
Just stay over there.
Wow.
Don't worry about it. I got this. Hey, Henry, there's space over here now.
I thought he was having a nap still. Or is he
he's
woken
awake.
up?
He's
He's woken
awake.
up? All right. He's back with
He's
us.
getting ready to go to the Twitch party for Gamescom tonight. So he's
isn't?
just pre-gaming by napping. He's a very exciting gentleman, let's be honest. Glaive jumping up, spots
He's a
one
thriller.
coming around through quad. Yeah, Michael Jackson style. As Snappy is gonna get a shot through. Kerrigan gets
What did you just
and
imply?
I have no idea. Kerrigan gonna fall back, bomb been planted. Modi, though, above smoke, he's able to hit down on Zipix, and it's a decent start to this retake, considering the man advantage. It still resides in the hands of Team X. And remember, though, with the bomb down early enough, the interesting thing, though, is that this is not the gun round. This is the one before. So not only will they get more utility even if they don't win this, but if they can hold off as Kirby's doing, they could steal a round away from Team X, break the economy early, and start to make this work. Freeze, nearly, and he does! Missed the shot. Device has him down. It's all on Modi. He's caught out in the open. Glaive just trying to walk in late and get toward the bomb. Thankfully, no, his team, well, he hasn't given them the possibility, but the smoke's out. The MP9s, he can't find it, he's got it! He's gonna just barely, Team X wins the round, the knife's late. Device can't get there, they did everything to steal the round, except get the kill at the last second.
Oh my word, what was that for a round? Team X looked so terrified of victory, they went any other direction than there. What was this? 4-3. Look how close this got as well in the end, and there it was. The defuse came out. Oh my word, but yeah, what a way to win the round in the end. All right, 8-9. Now the guns are out to play. Team X's money is a little shattered here. It's not stable at all, but a great position to use this in. Can't be brought to the forefront, however. A 1-for-1 trade out, not bad. I guess if you've got an MP9, you're not expecting much more than that.
I mean, that's that. In those situations, yeah, you're right. You get to that, you're like, okay, this is a good round. We get money down. We haven't denied the bomb plant thus far. But then when you're on 1-on-2 and that like that, you have to be thinking about winning it, and that's just like like a reverse mentality. You go so excited, and then the ultimate blow. But now with the guns out, they do have the man advantage to work with. Freeze jumping up, spotted inside of that smoke, can't do anything to deny the default bomb plant. Madi, he's gonna go on top ticket booth. Sure, you can see the bomb, but it's already planted. No one needs to be there for the T-side. What it does do, it gives him the advantage to spot the Vice top train. Kerrigan, meanwhile, though, lurking back around the bomb train itself. Close quarters, takes down 2, and still not exposed. Madi does eventually get him, but it's a 1-on-2. He has to find 2 in quite quick succession as well with no kit. He's already decided that's not probable, and likely he'll just save the weapon. Yeah, so far, Team X have been giving Astralis so much room to play with. It's been almost worrying to watch. If they're unable to stop them even making a bit of a step towards the site, I don't know how that's going to really fare later into this game. However, it's still early days. It's still certainly not just stabilized just yet. Astralis will, however, take the lead. So again, keep 2 rifles behind, perfectly fine. However, the money's not brilliant, but they know they're coming up against a very weakened Team X here. They know there's not being a great deal spread amongst them. So you're going to be looking at very upgraded pistols at best, a little bit of armor, and that's about it. So Device is the one who wants to go hunting. He wants to get his money looking a little bit better than it is. Wow. Device, like you say, gonna go hunting. Heads to B early. Only bomb just slightly behind that top ladder as Dupree gets a little bit of information. Shots fired in his direction inside of A, and smoke off to make sure the pistols do not push him down. But what they haven't figured out is exactly where the M4 resides, and that there's a scout in the hands of Freeze. And he right now sits quite far away from the activity in Z connector, but can quickly cover off the upper position. And Madi, there it is. There's the M4 found. Thankfully, it's not bomb that goes down. They can start to reconsider their possibilities here, and the problem, leaving a gun up at the upper corner. Yeah, you know they're going to be looking for that as well. There's so little to lose on the Team X side, they're going to hunt that on out. And it's Valda already looking like he wants to get up there, but then the rest of Team X need to be careful of obviously A now. You know, once you see that M4, you just don't want to go near it just in case, but it's not exactly going to be hard for Modi to just wander over towards A already, but on the longer way around here, Kiebi and Carrigan going over towards Ivy, that's actually where Glaive currently and Freese are waiting, so Freese is the other one who's got a bit more of a weapon to play with in this. He's got the scout, it can do damage, followed up by, you know, a 5.7 or 2, and even the SMG with Valda. It's not the end of the world. They can still work around it. So again, this is still a dangerous round here. The MP9 7 has been picked up, whatever number it is, as Freeze falls back. Flashed off at Hitch, that gives them the entrance through, but keep in mind that Madi's still waiting at quad. Will catch them when they pass by. Good pick up from Zipix, but there it is. Madi goes early and Snappy goes down. It's on Volda on top of the bomb train. 4 versus 2, and as the bomb gets closer, it may not even come to that as kills are looking to be the more integral part of this round. Madi's already bailing. That 1 M4 is going to be saved twice. It did start things off well, but like I said, Astralis, as soon as they saw that kill come out of the B site, they go back toward A. They isolate the players deep inside of the site and don't allow the rotation to come through with utility quite so quickly. So, well done, Monty. All right, you can have Kerrigan, but Astralis are going to pick up round number 11. Yeah, it was actually quite impressive they didn't lose a single player beyond Device. Once they decided, okay, B is not where we want to be, let's head towards A. Of course, Kerrigan there will eventually go down, but taking this gun away would be pretty nice, actually. Monty already finding 2. Their money's still far from good here for Team X, so if he gets even a chance to take this one away, they'll actually go for it. Zipnix is also not far off, but again, it's starting to weigh up the risk and the cost of going for this one. Dupree there, just making sure no ninja sort of diffusers were coming around. There'll be no threat to that. And Modi's now got another threat. 6 stuff from Modi, actually. Really well played on the exit there. 4 kills eventually, the first on Device and then the others on the way out. So for him,
really keep himself relevant and actually keeping himself well put up on money as well, even though the rest of his team are pretty much in dire straits. So they're in the same position here, but if not worse.
Yeah, and then it's interesting, Madi goes TK. This is the exact same setup. Device goes back to the Mac 10. Kit for Madi as well as armor. But did they change his setup? Well, seemingly so, because Glaive, he's going to have the pistol alone on B, so they're trying to keep it unpredictable as to where this rifle's gone and find the opener. Right now, sitting ticket boost, so he's been boosted up. He has the vision to try and deny the default plant, but Device, again, the first to go down with that Mac 10. Snappy finds him walking in, so they're doing the right thing. Again, he's getting the information. Him going down in these situations isn't the end of the world. He's not investing that much into it, but he's doing it in such a way that not only is he giving away a Mac 10 twice, there's been no trade. It's all about trying to adapt the call. And again, Astralis, well, seemingly successful because KRB picking up 2, Dupree gets Volda, and they should secure the round on this.
Yeah, it could be cleaner, I guess is the only thing you can say. But Modi, as soon as he let those first couple of bullets fly towards, I think it was Dupree coming out through kind of T-Con, not a chance in hell. Not a chance in hell. They knew exactly where he was going to be. He's actually gone back in for a little bit more there. I think that's Zipnik's getting caught up, going up towards Pop. But Glaive has nothing to lose again. If he can get a gun out of this, that'd be absolutely perfect. Saving 2 over would be actually really, really vital. I don't think it's going to happen here. Already Modi's backing away from this. Glaive could have gone hunting if he fancied it, but I don't know what he's going to get out of it at this point. You know, they're already, exiting A together. They're playing well. They're being cautious. They're leaving Zipnik still on the side. They're not allowing any flank to come out, and no one's chasing this time from Astralis. So Glaive really has nothing to play for in this.
If there's anything to take away from this, Modi, he stayed alive now for 3 straight rounds.
Modi is doing well. Modi, the one thing I always like about Modi is his reading to the game and how he approaches rounds and how he approaches certain spots that he plays. I actually find him a really enjoyable player to watch. So it's good to see him actually having a good individual game as well to support that. Because normally it's even just like a 1 kill, maybe 2 kills at max he'll ever seem to get. But nice to see him actually playing quite an impactful role in this. However, scoreline-wise, it's starting to look a little bit better now for Astralis. They've stabilized on their T side. They've got that money now. They've got all the utility in the world. Team X has to find their response soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and Modi on 20 kills, but the more important factor is now he can drop out, so they get a decent buy out of this by throwing the AK over to Glaive. He'll buy up the M4. And a nade. That'll go in, but go deep. Zipik's just barely catching the end of that, down to 79 HP. Dupree potential to wait to drop down fast on the lower position at B, should they elect to go that direction, because right now it's a default 2 out toward Ivy. They're trying to find the picks. Astralis slowing the pace now that the weapons are brought back up on Team X's side. And Modi this time can afford to be a little bit more aggressive, knowing he's not the only rifle on the map. To be fair, on the CT side, they still have 3 smokes, so they've held on to them for a decent amount of time, considering we're at the 1-minute mark already, and Astralis needs to start to consider that and how they're going to approach and how they're going to try and isolate CTs. Forward stance as well over toward quad inside of the A site. Volda and Glaive playing pretty close to each other, and with vision as well above smokes on A main.
All right, Snappy, what do you have here as well? The CT side playing this pushed up is going to give away a lot of the kind of map presence that they could have previously held at the back of the train, which now adds an extra threat that they can get around to the old bomb train. But it's a split. It's a complete ruse. It's a clever ruse at that, until Modi at least could have stopped it. But no, now the thing is there's the split through CT, and I love this play. It's something Na'Vi started to do a long time ago. It's so good because you get players like Freeze now panicking. He can't be safe anywhere he looks, left, right, behind him. There's T's absolutely everywhere. He's desperate for support to finally come through connector, which they're doing. But look at their positioning already. Karrigan's watching one side. You've got Device on the other. KRB there as well. It means the teammates just can't play retake. This is a lovely round from Astralis.
Yeah, that's super well done. You called it too. I mean, you could see Freeze panicking, and he knew it was going to happen, and inevitably he looks away, and boom, guess what? That was the time they show up. So very, very well done. Not only that, you don't even really need to peek on it, Freeze. You can see it's already playing in his mind. They can't really move without knowing where you are. You're forcing them to make the move on the CT side, and you've got so much ground to walk on. You're pincering them without even really doing anything beyond planting the bomb. So smartly done for Astralis. Snappy this time, and Volda going to be the ones to save. And Astralis, I have to say, is actually being quite smart about this. They're not chasing it down, and this is kind of goes back to what the threat mentality that people like DDK, Yanko, and Henry have alluded to multiple occasions. You don't chase down those guns that are saving, because if they keep them, you start to give them the thought that, all right, they can force around those guns, and you keep the economy a little bit lower. Not only that, you keep economy in your hands. You don't risk dying and losing guns and having to rebuy yourself. So it's quite smart to see them having the discipline to just, you know what, doesn't matter, let them go. And again, here's the force buy. Now this time, they do get an AWP on top of it, but no armor on Modi and limited utility.
Yeah, Modi there just about backing away in time. He could have caught a glimpse of Device, actually, but Device just going to go straight through. He's, of course, with the Mac-10. He's not particularly been too prevalent so far with this. He's been caught out several times. He's been just kind of running in off his own accord and just dying off the back of it without any possible trades. However, this time, he's got the support there with him. He's got teammates, too. So Freeze is now supporting him. All the other players are there supporting him, too. So if he just ran in, they could actually trade off the back of it. Zipnix and Kiebi will be waiting still. No one's actually gone for it just yet, though. There's the first push. There's the first bit of presence. Freeze finds Kiebi. That's not even Device, which is the problem now. Device is going to be around that corner, too. Does get himself the AK and backs away. So not all is lost, and nothing is found for Team X here.
Device trying to get the line up toward Freeze, but this is so dangerous. Need to almost go wide peek against the AWP to win this duel. And Freeze, he's getting impatient, waiting for him, and he'll just change the angle, close it up ever so slightly, and Device had no idea that what was familiar shoulder territory was now headshot potential. Glaive walks back in, Kerrigan drop, bomb goes down as well, and a third as they fall in on top of him. Down the rabbit hole, and you're not going to Wonderland, you're going straight to hell.
Very dark. Very, very dark.
That's how my mind works.
Yeah, apparently so. But to be fair, the Team X didn't seem to have to work too hard for some of these kills. There was a lot of opportunities to be there. Freeze doing fine, doing what he needs to. Glaive then not being actually challenged out one-to-one once on that. Everyone else was focusing elsewhere. So again, making the most of the opportunities got given. 13-9, however, it's a bit of a climb back here for Team X. They are certainly not in control. And Astralis looking like they want to kick it up a gear. Look at dupreeh already just lunging out, looking like he wants to find those opening fights. But there's about 3 players back-to-back watching that spot. Valda there as well is going to be able to find it. It's actually Snappy's molly to do the damage in the end. But now dupreeh giving away his position. Glaive is in the perfect spot, but timing's...
That's... What? All right. I don't know how dupreeh didn't see him. I can understand Glaive running through, panicking, because he already got the flash drawn. But how does dupreeh not turn around and spot that? But either way, Freeze, he'll get dupreeh down, and guess what? That means there's still a member inside toward the quad position. It's been canceled out, but Zipix, he'll fall, and Team X, they're starting to get the momentum.
It felt like a long time in the making as well, let's be very honest. It felt like they were kind of being outdone here, just being outgunned, outclassed. You saw that split towards B that looked super nice and super scripted out there. Doesn't seem to be coming through now. Now we've got a double AWP as well, so Snappy and Freeze both opting to go towards those. That's something we haven't particularly seen too much from Team X, so again, this is a nice new layer maybe we could enjoy watching, see if that actually works out for them. And Astralis, their money's starting to look a bit weary, let's be very clear about that. dupreeh's down to just the Tech 9 here, so again, he might be looking for opening presence, trying to find some early play towards this one. Modi has been playing close towards that kind of ramp access towards B. dupreeh's not going to find much luck there early on, however, as already the Ivy play starts to come through. The Modi's going to be put down through the smoke, force Snappy away from the angle, and allow Astralis to see what they can achieve here, what they can start working away.
Device, smoke in front, gonna get flashed through by Kirby. Missed shot by Snappy. Device tries to capitalize, but guess what? Crossfire established. Glaive came back to help. He called for the rotation, and he'll get it. Sufficiently so. Late exploitation of the broken windows above the ladder. See if it proves to be useful or not, as the CTs did as a reaction. Throw one out of their own. Volta's going to try and bust out those windows. Henry and I talked about this in the last game. If you do it preemptively, you can kind of fool them into thinking you might be up there. And if you are up there, well, you don't have to worry about one bullet being absorbed by glass, because that's how it works.
Yeah, a bit of a win-win either way. And Astralis waiting for their moment to hit that A site. Everything's looking like it's going to be this, unless Kerrigan pulls a bit of a different trick. And Astralis going ahead of the smokes being put to play, so they want to take those early fights, try and catch Team X with those counter flashes in hand, and that's not going to be the case. Valda is ready and waiting, but he only gets one. Trades it out with Kerrigan in the end, and we're down to a 4v3. Still favorable to Team X here, and Glaive is bringing it even further in towards their hands. It's down to just Zipnix, the bomb, in a disastrous spot. This will need an incredible performance for Zipnix to pull this one back in towards Astralis' favor.
Zipix wants that bomb back. But we want Biggie Smalls back, and we didn't get him, so he's getting nothing. As Snappy, he's got the shot. And it's now 11 for X again. They continue to take the momentum away. 3 rounds straight. Money gone again on the Astralis side. And I didn't think this was a semifinal.
That's cruel. That's really mean.
I'm sorry.
Oh man. Oh, but no, yeah, this isn't great for Astralis, let's be very honest, because you want to see them shaking that sort of, even just that attitude of, oh, we struggled to close games, because Team X were the team that was hailed as one to be struggling already in this new season of Pro League, but now Astralis claiming back their titles so far, it seems. Snappy going to be going in on this one, and this should be comfy. They shouldn't lose out on too much here.
Oh, they've got bomb as well, which makes it all too easy.
Just, it wasn't even a team flash, he just flashed himself there as well.
It's new tactics.
Yeah, Yeah.
So that his model has the hand, so he partial blinds himself, his model has the hand above his eyes, and then everyone goes, oh, he's blind, I'll get him, and then, not really.
So next gen, man. I don't even think of these things.
Do you know what else is next gen? Device using this eco round as a time to go use the bathroom.
You reckon that's a bathroom call?
Yeah, totally.
I like the finger guns he's got there. It's like, hey.
You know what? That's what I do. When I get in situations after the bar, when I'm walking home and someone scares me, I just point my fingers and go, bang, and hope that they leave me alone. And Device is going to hope that they leave him alone as well.
I found a real problem with Device and his gun there. It doesn't actually go in his hand. So there we go. Glaive will find him in the end. Hopefully the bathroom break is now okay, but it has been set to pause, so actually maybe a little bit of an issue there with him. But at the end of the day, they can use it as a tactical timeout. Okay, so if it is tactical, that's just as good. They need to discuss this, and I'm glad they're taking these sort of timeouts because these early games in a pro league are incredibly important towards the end of your season.
Well, this registers a tactical pause, but with Device leaving server, you have to wonder, okay, it's an eco, they're not going to contest the round, but this may actually go down as a tech. They have it as tactical on there. I'm not 100% sure.
I'm not sure.
This is one of the 8 timeouts per game, and the coach is allowed to speak now.
For about 2 seconds. How long is the time they're actually allowed to talk for? Was it like 20 seconds or 30 or something?
30-second timeouts, 4 30-second timeouts.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
That's interesting. Are we actually, I wonder if, are you doing those rules now?
No, that's usually LAN applied, because how can you sanction the coach other than being in TeamSpeak? And like, what do you do? Then they'd have to use like an ESL TeamSpeak where someone has admin and they can just mute the coach if he breaks the rules or something. Like that's the way it would have to be.
Yeah, that's true. So that's kind of curious.
Seems a bit much.
Yeah. But yeah, this technical, tactical, whatever it may be, very well needed for Astralis. It's been a good string of rounds for Team X back-to-back here. We haven't seen too much prevalence from the AWPs having huge dominance, but they've just been holding their own. Valda's having a bit of a swing around as well. Modi was the player who initially had that very, very big performance. Really, had a really nice play for quite some time. He was able to keep hold of that rifle for a long time. However, Valda, again, this guy, I can't stop talking about this guy whenever he comes into these games because he has been such a big factor for these guys.
Yeah, I mean, I have to give credit to Valda and I mean Glaive as well. That both these, this was the thing, like this team. And Henry talks about this all the time. It's so true. If you're sort of the third, sorry?
You sounded very like done by this.
It's just like it's one of those like what if situations, and it has to do like it is what if in the sense that even if they had those players, it might be the right complexion. But when you're the third, as I'm going to say, if you put Dignitas above Team X still, Danish team, you tend to be that farm team that feeds talent to others. And we're seeing the same thing kind of happening with Epsilon right now. Sweden's kind of got 3 teams. It's a bit of a anomaly, but in that sense, you've had Matchday go through here. You've had why am I drawing blanks? It literally was just in my head. But you've had talent go through.
Coming through as well.
Yeah, Kirby was on the team on the way back.
It's all being kind of filtered upwards, I guess.
Yep, Config's had some time in here, then he get moved forward. I mean, there's lots of players and talent that's been on this team before, and it just never seems to fit for long enough, so hopefully they can get something rolling. I mean, I think Valda is a young talent in Denmark that I think even Astralis, if I'm not mistaken, Dupree tweeted about, Dupree Device saying he is up and coming and he's kind of the future of Danish CS, and Glaive we know is capable as an in-game leader and at getting kills at the same time. So I think there is potential on this team.
Massively so. But the one thing I'll say about Team X that I quite like, and I also see the negative side of it, is you've got to feel for people like Freeze and Modi who've kind of had to stick this one out. You know, this could be finally the roster that actually works, and then, as you say, this young talent gets snapped up, brought into the bigger lineup, some more robust teams. So again, you've got to feel for them because you wouldn't argue that they'll be on the forefront of being picked up, whereas someone, fresh to the scene like Valda has, real potential to be molded into a lineup, really taken through. You've got that real young potential there. It's got to suck for them because you think, well, how long are we going to be able to stick with this 5 until we have to search out another new talent? But anyway, we can come back to that as a nice discussion, actually. There's a big discussion point on that, actually, at the moment. Let's see what Astralis do. They've been struggling to hit into these sites, make it really count. It looks like maybe they're going to go for the switch up straight away. Not too sure. Again, need to hit the brakes here. Device is back with us, of course, and we can resume the game.
Flash.
Aww.
Is that the noise the Flash makes?
It's just some TV show, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The Flash? Freeze? Watching upper AWP inside. Get serious, Pansy. For once, would you?
I'm so
There's
sorry.
still a game of Counter-Strike going on.
I'm just so unprofessional. I can't help myself.
I would never do that. Smoke out at upper, though. Free's going to have to relocate on this, but Modi is the one that's waiting down below, and he has to play off this. And the unfortunate part is the AWP moves. He gets caught in the crossfire from upper. Freeze, he does get 2 kills, and quite decent ones, but they're a little bit late. However, All the rotates over. Device, guess what? This game's going 13-13. Team X again with a late comeback against Astralis. 9-6 at half. They get the momentum early, and this time they still can't close it out. And this is the start of Pro League, Astralis. You drop 2 to Team X. Sure, they put up good numbers against everybody else, but they didn't take games off them, and this is going to hurt them down the line.
Yeah, this really is not how you want it to happen. And this is where you get frustrated, where you get angry, where you get, you know, I hate saying the word, but tilted. It is just a tilting moment where you're like, well, we've taken the time out, we need to come back into this. What more can we do? We've been leading, we've been up, and then we keep dropping these games. This shouldn't be happening to us at this sort of caliber. What has happened to us during this break? It is still early, of course. There's a lot of other games we've played here in the Pro League, but Kerrigan getting up close and personal, only to be met by the barrel of Freeze's gun in the end. And do you know what? The UI has gone as has Astralis' likelihood of winning this round. It's back.
Wow.
Dun, 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 dun.
Glaive, baiting in for Snappy. I'm ignoring you. As the Molotov will, oh, that's risky. That is so risky. 10 HP and he just gamble. That's not gonna make it to me. And he stays alive, and then they smoke it off for him, so he gets away. But unfortunately, that still may not make a big difference in all of this, because it's now 14-13, no guns, and we're already in a 4 versus 2 situation. So Team X, team late comeback, team late comeback. That works. That starts with X. Go double up setup as well with Snappy and Freeze, as it's been working continuously. But look what we have on the T side. Double up setup T side. So this is a very pick-heavy strategy that's going to come out from Astralis, and they need to do it in the first 30 to 45 seconds before they try and execute with 2 AWPs in their hand. B, they've got long-range territory they can cover off, so I can see potential here, but Device wants to try and get a pick and A immediately first.
Oh, and I was about to say, if that's the one round Modi actually pushed up on, that could be devastating. He's very rarely pushed towards his round halls, but Kerrigan gets denied the opener. Valda is there. He's willing to go for the challenge. I think he might have spotted out Dupree, or at least he'll show up on the minimap if you're that close, because Dupree was showing by Pop as well. So Astralis' game plan of those early picks has backfired terribly.
Device wants to come back in still, but Valda plays up close. Kirby baits it out, but the smoke means Dupree can't swing for the trade, and look how many players rotate over, but that flash, it's so well timed. Oh, Freeze just barely gets in behind the bomb train, and I would have bet Dupree, well, with a lineup, could have picked that shot off. Does still get a second one out of this. It's down to the 3 versus 2, and he's got information. Glaive's back out toward Ivy still. Flash, it'll blind him temporarily, but no one can act upon it. And Zipix is going to spot one on top of the train. Freeze goes low, but still, he can't find the lineup against it. Dupree, he's still doing work, though.
Dupree's being an absolute monster here. 3 kills, bringing this round back to being possible. Bearing in mind, this was all but over until that moment, and now Modi's been taken down low. They know at least where these 2 remaining players may be. Dupree's going to take the step out. Freeze needs to hit it. He does. Dupree is gone. It's down to Zipnix in a 1v2. 38 seconds. He has got the bomb, or at least he can get it. But can he find these 2 remaining players and work the situation out?
Smart to smoke off on ladder, knowing that there was a player rotating over from B. It'll buy him a little bit more time in this, but with 27 seconds, he's actually going to try and use that to his advantage. This is a mind game. He puts the smoke out ladder. Even if the player had gone down that ladder to try and utilize it, he would have been forced then to rotate the other direction, which he's already done, and now he can isolate this into a one-on-one inside B site. Noise made, it's gonna be heard. Low HP on both players, but times it wrong. Zipix as he pulls the bomb, 8 seconds. He's gotta go for the kill, and if he can't, he's gotta immediately elect to go for the plant instead, and he smartly does so. So he's giving himself a chance, but it's 1 bullet on any of the 3 remaining players, and it's over, and he walks back. Modi's got it set, and Team X are gonna find themselves for the 2nd straight map on map point.
This is absolutely incredible from Team X. I've thoroughly enjoyed their performance, but again, you've got to look at Astralis here. That round only became close because Dupree went wild. He got 3 kills there to make that even possible. The plant off the back might help them coming into this final throw of him because, well, it's not been looking great. Their money's been far from robust. They can get a decent buy coming back here, but we didn't see that pick game coming out. We saw it completely dismantled from Valdis just to start off with, so that plan got ruined. And again, Astralis is struggling for any sort of viable option here.
This is sad to watch in some ways. The start of the season, things not right. And yes, okay, vacations aside, you've still been with some sort of a playbook considering Kirby did have some time with the team before the break, mind you. Not at the major, which is where most of the focus would have gone. Snappy bounces nade. Kirby, besides 90 HP, looks better than 100.
Now, last time they did this, they went for that B hit, but the problem being now Snappy sitting in this sort of spot that he was in doesn't make that work. And Glaive on towards Device, that aggression also paying off. Dupree, though, last round had a big bit of impact from this sort of position. So again, still very possible. The T's are slowly infiltrating that A side. That certainly looks like it could be a viable avenue of attack now. 1 minute left. Glaive now flashed up. I think his position's been noted. He's being pressured from Kieri, but he just can't land the shot. And now Glaive stays alive maybe longer than he should be able to. And now it's a 4v3 favorable towards Team X.
Kerrigan looking, finding. Glaive goes down. It's Dupree with the kill instead, but Snappy, he still has the lineup on the alleyway. But let's see if he's got the snappy accuracy to hit the shot. I'm pretty punny at times, you know. Sometimes I don't know how I come up with them. Sometimes they just give themselves and present themselves to me. Just like Zipix will present himself to Freeze, paint him like one of the French girls. Well, guess what? He's already done that. Splatter on the wall behind. And it's a lovely adorning red that'll cover off the bomb as well as Kerrigan has to try and pick this up. 1 versus 3, game over. Team X go 2-0 over Astralis this evening.
Now, we said this was going to be competitive. You know, it was quite an interesting matchup. You know, it's a derby of sorts. You get to see, you know, 2 teams from the same sort of region playing together. Always exciting. And Team X has showed potential, but I don't think many of us would have gone flat out Team X 2-0. No,
I think not at all. And you know, they've made this change, Astralis. It's a player-owned organization, and they've had to go through the complications business-wise of also getting rid of Cajun B and bringing him in, and they're not getting the rewards. I'm not saying Kirby is the problem, but obviously it's changed the construction of the team and the teamwork. So it's a bit of an issue, but there's someone on the desk who told me that my beard looks so divine that he decided to try and grow one out himself. That's Yanko, and he's standing by with Alex.
Yeah, what's going on here? The beard meta is shifting. It seems like people are going for facial hair. Henry's actually got one hair on his lip now, so that's about 12 months' work.
Not his, of course.
Not his, of course.
Hey, you...
Okay.
My terrorist fell over.
So, Astralis Team X, Yanko.
Yes.
Team X go 2-0. That, I don't think, would have been on the tip of anyone's tongue seeing this one on the pre-screen.
Definitely not. We thought that, you know, there's definitely upset potential there, but taking Astralis down 2-0 is really unexpected. Even with all the holiday stuff and all of that jazz, still it's a great achievement for Team X. We saw them have some close games in the previous match days, but they couldn't get a win, and here they take down the best team in Denmark 2-0.
And actually, I was kind of sitting next to you while you were watching that, and there were some moments where you were actually very impressed by Team X and their executes. There was one round in particular. I don't know if you could perhaps paint us a picture.
Yeah, it was. They started off in a default round pretty much, and Device was holding Ivy with an AWP. They chased him away, throw a molly and a smoke, and after that, Device has to rotate. He can't really be aggressive again in Ivy. He lost control of that area of the map, while Team X, in the meantime, just left that part of the map completely. They rotated to an A split with mid and ladder, and with some great use of grenades, knowing where the Astralis players are most likely to be since they lost control of Ivy. You can't stand somewhere where you can be shot from Ivy, right? Obviously. So they had a great executing plan. You can see that it's a thought-out strategy, and it was a perfectly clean round for them. And I was really impressed by that round because it shows they had a really clear game plan of what they want to do, chase the player away from Ivy. They don't have information over there, rotate to the other side and just overwhelm the CTs.
But, I mean, on the other side of things, yes, celebrations for Team X. However, a couple of eyebrows raised for Astralis. Is it silly to start already, worrying about Astralis? It's just, this is what happened last time, is they had a slow start to the third season of the ESL Pro League, and now they stand here in the fourth, going 0-2.
I mean, I feel like they had to win at least one map, right?
Yeah.
At least train here. Losing 2-0, it might come back to haunt them later on, but I think it's pretty obvious that, especially Device, I don't know if he has like more than 5 hours in Counter-Strike. He had really poor two maps. You can see that he's a bit rusty for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like they had to do more. They even had that miracle round from Kerrigan, the eco round that they won, but in the end they just couldn't pull through on the T side.
And that wasn't actually a gorgeous round, well executed. Matt kept highlighting that he didn't go for the AK immediately, but that restraint is something that just comes with time and a whole lot of Counter-Strike being played. We have more to throw in your face as well. We're going to be bringing you FaZe up next, going up against Envy. A lot of question marks surrounding this French side at the moment, where the results online have been a little bit hit or miss, mostly miss, and so we're looking forward to seeing what they can do here at the Pro League. But before we do go,
in general,
if you want to go ahead
results
and check out Envy, you want to know how they're performing, you want to see the stats, you can over at the Score Esports application available on your smartphone. I was about to say the website, it does exist, but it's all about that app. Grab it on your phone, and we're back after the break to bring you FaZe Envy.